They say all you have to do to make your wish come true is let it echo, 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 echo.
It's awful, generic. Never mind that the lyrics make no sense at all. All you have to do to make your dream come true is let it echo. Is it like on a metaphor?
A thunderstorm of chatter exploded the moment people heard whispers of a behind-the-scenes scandal involving Rachel Zegler and that catastrophic Snow White box office meltdown. Nobody saw this level of chaos coming. Everyone assumed Disney's iconic princess would grace the silver screen with whimsical charm, but according to the rumor, an entirely different spectacle played out off camera. This shocking alleged fiasco pointed fingers squarely at Zegler.
She came out and she said, I apologize. Like, I went too far. But it wasn't sincere.
Remaking the movie, they just got rid of the dwarfs. But they have one token dwarf amongst these magical creatures. You actually just went backwards. You actually just erased the dwarfism side of it, the disability, like we're a disability group, you just erase that whole.
It's got extra musical numbers that are incredibly unnecessary that really add to that runtime, and let me go ahead and let you know that they're absolutely f***ing atrocious.
Fans and insiders alike claim she stirred tensions, demanded last-minute script flips, and rattled the entire production from the ground up. She stepped onto that set with high expectations pinned to her name, only for those hopes to crumble when the film tanked. Some say it was doomed from the start, thanks in part to Zegler's alleged behind-the-scenes behavior, and if you thought this was a trivial snag, think again.
This is just so typical of the left. The progressives always finding a way to find their way back to doing something not progressive.
So apparently, according to them and according to the writers of Snow White, women can't even want to be in love anymore.
The entire situation has grown into a massive storm, leaving everyone asking how Snow White could spiral so disastrously. From the first day Zegler set foot on the Snow White set, people reported a strange tension humming in the air. Insiders claim she was less than thrilled with certain aspects of her role. It wasn't that she disliked the costume or the songs.
Last week was a very big week, objectively a huge week. We had quite a few announcements. It's the first live-action film, which is Snow White and the Evil Queen. And that's me, I'm Snow White, which is so funny.
Nobody wants a movie about true love? What kind of woman do we want out there seeking true love, Eliana? The outrage.
There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Weird.
No, it ran much deeper. Allegedly, she wanted to modernize Snow White to fit her personal vision. She didn't just make polite suggestions. She reportedly demanded rewrites, insisted on changing entire chunks of the story, and clashed with anyone who voiced a different opinion. Production staff whispered that Zegler's unwavering determination created friction right from the start. While it's common for creative minds to debate how best to adapt a classic,
Rachel Zegler, like so many kids raised on TikTok, she's all for infantada is the only global solution.
No one on the right side of America can stand the star of this movie. They spent $170 million to make the thing, and it had the lowest opening, under $50 million, of any of these live-action Disney remakes that they've ever had.
Rumors painted Zegler as a little too forceful, allegedly undercutting directors, producers, and even her co-stars. This fueled a sense of discontent among everyone involved. People who were initially excited to see her interpretation gradually cooled off.
Part of the first, fairy tale ever told.
Oh my God.
Have they ever thought about maybe like a little bit of vulnerability study, opposition research, that sort of thing before you go and hire some Zoomer who's a lunatic?
Baffled at the atmosphere on set. To make matters worse, word leaked that Zegler felt the original Snow White's story was outdated and needed drastic transformation. Disney loyalists found that attitude downright insulting. They believed the enduring charm of this classic tale deserved respect and gentle adaptation.
Pretending like Rachel Zegler is the first of them all when she looks like Lord Farquaad in the film.
Queen, playing the evil queen. It was pretty amazing.
Doing catastrophically. They spent $300 million and it currently has a 2.2 out of 10 rating on IMDb.
The movie has a major identity crisis.
Not the bulldozer approach. But if these rumors are to be believed, Zegler made it clear. She was there to bring her truth to the character, no matter how many feathers she ruffled along the way. But that wasn't the whole story. The minute Disney announced Rachel Zegler as Snow White, the internet erupted. Some folks cheered at the fresh spin. Others, however, insisted the casting was ill-conceived.
Controversy in Snow White. The dwarves have been eliminated in the live action.
Yeah.
Now it's Snow White and the 7 magical beings.
Wait, it's 7 and the magical beings?
Yeah,
They won't even
7
say
magical
and the 7
beings.
dwarves?
No, because they're not dwarves. For right now, that's the only jobs that are there.
Rachel Zegler is extraordinarily woke, but she's woke in a way that's quite deranged.
The wave of negativity only intensified when Zegler herself started, voicing opinions that contradicted nostalgic fans' visions. Fans attacked the studio for veering off tradition, and many turned their anger toward the actress herself. Behind the scenes, the tension apparently escalated tenfold. Rumor says Disney executives scrambled to appease everyone. They juggled the classic storyline with Zegler's alleged demands for modernization. In the end, countless rewrites ballooned the budget, delayed shooting schedules, and caused confusion among the cast. By the time cameras rolled, frustration had reached a boiling point. Even crew members who typically remain neutral started complaining. They claimed they couldn't keep track of which script version was current. Whispers also hinted that some of the production staff nearly walked off set, exhausted by Zegler's constant push to reshape Snow White's personality, dialogue, and storyline. Allegedly, she wouldn't back down from her unwavering conviction. That standoff transformed the set into a battlefield of ideas. And that's just the start. The real bombshell hit after the movie was finally released to the public. It wasn't just a rough opening weekend. It was a total meltdown. The numbers started rolling in, and Snow White underperformed so badly that observers labeled it one of Disney's worst fiascos in recent years. People pointed directly at Zegler and her new age take on a beloved character. Critics accused her of stripping away the charm that made Snow White iconic. They said her on-screen portrayal felt cold and disconnected from the enchanting innocence fans craved. Meanwhile, fans who once anticipated a whimsical reboot found themselves outraged. Social media erupted with savage critiques, calling Zegler's performance snarky, disrespectful, and bizarre. Instead of a sweet fairy tale princess, viewers described seeing a borderline parody. That negativity quickly spiraled, creating a chain reaction where even the curious audience lost interest. The film's numbers flatlined. Naturally, the aftermath placed Zegler under an intense spotlight. Her earlier remarks, where she allegedly dismissed the original story as outdated, came back to haunt her. Outraged fans felt validated in their suspicions. They believed the actress never truly wanted to honor Snow White's legacy. She wanted to replace it with her own version. Now, each passing day tallies more financial losses. Analysts keep shaking their heads at how a production with such promise self-destructed. Zegler's name remains at the center of blame. And what happened next would shock everyone. Details leaked about heated confrontations on set. Some insiders described full-blown shouting matches between Zegler and Pivotal figures in the production. She allegedly scolded certain team members for not matching her vision. It sounds dramatic, but multiple sources claim that the tension ran so high, security had to step in at one point to calm everyone down. Certain co-stars tried to act as peacekeepers, but the rumor states they grew tired of playing referee. When an actor or actress disrupts the workflow repeatedly, frustration builds fast. A portion of the cast believed Zegler's approach was overshadowing the collective effort. They wanted to craft a tribute to the beloved classic with modern flair. But they felt Zegler was determined to bulldoze tradition without any regard for the original magic. Word of these fiery clashes spread like wildfire across social media. Fans pieced together cryptic tweets, subtle interviews, and behind the scenes photos to fuel speculation. Each new tidbit painted a portrait of a chaotic set. A meltdown seemed inevitable. And no matter who tried to fix the situation, rumor says Zegler dug in her heels, giving no quarter to compromise. But this was only the tip of the iceberg. What happened off-screen threatened to overshadow the actual movie. Zegler's public persona took center stage when she fired back at critics online. Instead of ignoring negative chatter, she allegedly posted snide replies, doubling down on her opinions about Snow White. People who adored the fairy tale felt insulted. They bombarded her with even more scorn. Some watchers claimed Zegler's approach to fan interactions was self-sabotage. She wasn't gracefully explaining her stance, she was fueling arguments. Each bold tweet or cryptic post stoked new hostility. Meanwhile, the press ate it up, publishing articles about her aggressive clapbacks. As if that wasn't damaging enough, boycotts started. People urged others to skip the movie entirely. They pinned the blame on Zegler's dismissive attitude, saying they refused to support an actress who apparently held little respect for the character and the fanbase. Online forums burst with condemnation, painting Zegler as the villain of the story. In an era where social media can propel or destroy a star's reputation, her every word fanned the flames. Snow White's already fragile box office standing grew even more tenuous. Observers believe these online battles hammered the final nails into the coffin. Disney fans are known for their fierce loyalty. They champion the brand's magical legacy and expect beloved classics to be treated with reverence. This time, they felt betrayed. The rumor swirling around Zegler's alleged disregard for the original fairy tale inflamed them. Many claimed she didn't just miss the mark, she acted like she was too good for the source material. Suddenly, countless fans took to YouTube, TikTok, and fan blogs to vent their outrage. They compiled side-by-side comparisons of classic Snow, White scenes and Zegler's version, highlighting every detail they felt had been tainted. People posted breakdowns of her interviews, pointing out what they viewed as arrogance or condescension. A single dismissive comment about classic princess tropes turned into a rallying cry for fans who felt personally attacked. The avalanche of negativity kept rolling. Disney, usually adept at damage control, couldn't stop the wave of disapproval. Internal sources say the studio was stunned by the backlash's intensity. They expected mild controversy, but never on this epic scale. Fans, once excited to see a fresh live-action adaptation, now joked about how the new Snow White was an unrecognizable imposter. They heaped blame onto Zegler for that transformation, and that's when Hollywood insiders started stepping in. Hollywood's rumor mill cranked into overdrive. Whispered conversations suggested that studio executives saw this fiasco as a cautionary tale. They discussed whether future collaborations with Zegler might spark similar chaos, leading to widespread doubts in her reliability. No official statements were made, but people claimed that behind closed doors, bigwigs were spooked. Meanwhile, fellow actors and actresses distanced themselves, not wanting to get wrapped in the negativity swirling around Snow White. Casting. Directors who considered Zegler for new roles reportedly grew hesitant. No one wanted to invest hefty budgets only to watch them crash and burn amid controversies. The fiasco overshadowed any box office potential. The rumor also suggested that, behind the scenes, top Disney personnel felt blindsided. They had hailed Zegler as a future superstar, only to be burdened with catastrophic financial losses and a battered brand image. The entire situation became a hot conversation topic in Hollywood circles. Some said it would blow over, while others insisted the damage was permanent, but the final blow was still on the horizon. As the dust settled, everyone wondered what Rachel Zegler's next move would be. Would she try to redeem her image, or would she double down and claim her critics simply couldn't handle a fresh perspective? People talk about possible new projects on her horizon, but the rumor claims she might be facing reluctance from producers who dread the same chaos happening again. No one denies that she possesses talent. Yet, in the wake of this rumored meltdown, Hollywood's appetite for risk looms large. Executives stare at the shattered remains of Snow White's box office numbers and ask if they can afford a repeat. Zegler's name remains lodged in the gossip columns, overshadowed by the notion that her alleged combative approach on set contributed heavily to Disney's misfortunes. Where does this leave her career? Some say she'll vanish into hiatus, re-emerging once the public's anger cools. Others believe she'll barrel forward, determined to prove everyone wrong. But the rumor swirling around Tinseltown is that every conversation about future casting will consider how Snow White crashed and burned. That rumor alone has become a chilling specter for any project with Zegler attached. This saga is bigger than your run-of-the-mill behind-the-scenes spat. It's evolved into a cautionary epic about what happens when an actress sets out to redefine a cherished fairy tale without leaving room for compromise. The rumored meltdown on set, the box office flop, the vicious fan backlash, every piece of this puzzle points to Rachel Zegler's alleged role in a fiasco that Disney never anticipated. Now, we sit with one haunting question. How long before the shockwaves fade, and can Zegler emerge unscathed from the wreckage? It's a daunting possibility. The rumor stands firm. People inside and outside the studio continue to blame her for Snow White's downfall. As the film's story ends, the real-life repercussions are just getting started. One thing's certain, every move she makes from here will be watched and judged. There's no sweeping this fiasco under the rug. In the end, this entire blow-up reminds us of one harsh reality. Even centuries-old fairy tales aren't untouchable when an actress with bold ideas, an unwavering stance, and little patience for tradition steps up to the plate. The rumor of Rachel Zegler's involvement in Snow White's cataclysmic collapse will forever be etched in Disney lore. Whether she rebounds or sinks further remains to be seen, but the cautionary message echoes loudly through Hollywood's corridors. That's the story as it stands. An alleged behind-the-scenes meltdown, a botched box office run, and a combative star in the thick of it all. Viewers and fans alike can't stop talking about the fiasco. No matter where you stand, one truth is plain. This Snow White disaster has changed the game for live-action remakes, and Rachel Zegler's name has become a lasting part of that legacy. The rumor lights up the headlines every time her name appears. Will she ever reclaim the sparkle of a fairy tale princess? Or has this fiasco cast a permanent shadow? Only time will tell, but the damage done is already written into Hollywood history.